I'm not a fan of his ideologies, but I'm a fan. He's a big YouTuber. Let's listen to it.
He testified for a second day. And here's some key takeaways about what was happening during the trial. And I'm going to try to follow along as much as I can to bring you guys up to speed on what's happening in these streets. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
Today, I was in court for Cassie Ventura's
so reaction to a reaction.
disturbing testimony against Sean Diddy Combs. In inside courtroom 26A in Lower Manhattan, the jury saw for the first time direct material from these so-called freak-offs that she says she was forced to endure. In just a moment, we'll go through everything that happened with my team of legal experts and court insiders. But first, let me bring you inside of this courthouse. You know what it feels like. I mean, the jury had a whole night to process the disturbing details of these freak-offs that were laid out yesterday through the eyes of Cassie Ventura. The graphic details, the alleged abuse, the drug.
No, let me see if I can fast forward.
Dame that I did for the thing, and for the other person, I forgot whatever their name was, that I sent the cash apps for. Or was y'all just like, wait a minute, I just sent them $200 a piece. Be blessed. Be blessed.
Even though all
she even admitted that she would initiate the violence and would do some stuff to him. But see, the problem is.
So let me look at what's on the screen right now. Okay, GBH, that's grievous bodily harm. Thank you, Jared D. I appreciate you. I need you guys. Cassie details Diddy's violent outburst. He beat me up after going to Prince's party, held her friend over a balcony railing. We talked about that. Hit a longtime friend with the anger. He gripped me in my living room. Okay. Let me see what he said.
Usually it's to make you jealous.
Listen. I just want to get his commentary, see what he's saying. Let's see if it makes sense.
With Withmeister, who you and I have been bosom buddies in this court. We've been sitting next to each other, watching it all go down, and you have a unique perspective on all this and the coverage you've been doing. Talk to me though about the scope and the violence and the intimidation that she laid out in court today.
Yeah, Laura, so as you said, her first day of testimony yesterday really focused on these freak-offs. Today focused on the physical abuse, the domestic violence. This was the first time that the jury saw we saw bruises.
Wait a minute. She was scared of him, but she wasn't scared to date while she was taking resources and was still with him.
All right, listen to that. Let's go back.
To date. So wait a minute.
Let me see the comment.
You mentioned this gash on her eyebrow. We saw bruises all over her body, a black eye, a fat lip.
So wait a minute. She was scared of him, but she wasn't scared to date while she was taking resources and was still with him.
So she took resources. Wait, what did she take?
And was still with him. But she wasn't scared to date while she was taking resources.
She wasn't scared to date. So I guess the dating other guy while she was taking resources. Interesting. What does that mean? Like she was getting paid? Or she was being taken care of by a boyfriend? Or I'm wondering, what does that mean? She was taken care of by a boyfriend. She was dating another guy. But she was, what about the sign for 10 album deals to a record deal? Would that count towards something? What about all her resources was being controlled? Probably even deals, corporate deals. I don't know that. I'm just saying, maybe probably the fact that we don't even know that. How can we claim she was taking resources just from the fact that we don't know exactly what is her resource or what is his resource? The one thing we know is that he's a powerful guy, and yes, he has resources, and yes, he was paying for a lot of stuff. But I wonder why he wanted to settle. If this was so true, right? Why did he want to settle? He just wanted to just go away. Oh, okay. Let's keep going.
Resources and was still with him. Because again, I listen. After Meg Thee Stallion, and I'm gonna go over the Tory Lanez case after this, and I'm gonna go over a whole bunch of other stuff. After all of that, I don't believe anything anymore from anything that anybody says. I look at the details. I look at I'm just not going for nothing. So she's scared, but she was going on dates. And let me tell you why women go on dates while they with you. Let me tell you why they entertain other people. Usually it's to make you jealous.
Okay, so when women go on dates with other people, why they're taking your resources is to make you jealous. Now that's a fact that he just dropped. Gem, his opinion. Okay. The fact is that he gave an opinion. Are you confused yet? No, not yet. Wait. The fact is that he gave an opinion. You go on a date, you have an old man, a husband, a boyfriend, are committed, and you're going out on a date, right? There's a lot of things that could be going on. You want to make us jealous, but also you probably have low self-esteem if you're doing that. Okay, you probably feel like you don't have any other way out than to participate in bad behavior, so you must also denigrate yourself. Is that a word? Devalue yourself because you want to make another person feel less value, right? There's all those other facts that we can look at and say, this person is sick, let me just dismiss them so they can move on with their life. But I'd rather look at it as they want to make me jealous, so I can now make them jealous back. Let me guess, what's going to happen when I now know for a fact that they're trying to make me jealous? What's about to happen? Let's see. Listen, he said something profound.
I'm telling you the truth.
He said truth. Hey, he said the truth. Just take it or leave it. He said the truth, okay? He said that's what it is. They're trying to make you jealous.
Reason why women do certain things, and I don't doubt.
Oh, this is getting more interesting already.
Updating this field is so confusing. The CR,
even for a minute that Diddy did some of the stuff that she said that he did, 100%. I think that she also did some stuff. It was participatory.
She also did. These people are so quick to say, why are you doing whataboutism? But then they want to say she also did. She also did what?
I think that they were toxic towards each other. She even admitted that she would initiate the violence and would do some stuff to him. But see, the problem is the reason. Then she said, well, I would initiate the violence in order to do what? So you was beating on him, you was putting your hands on him, you was slapping on him, you was jealous because he had other women, and he never hid the fact that he always had a bunch of different women aside from you, in addition to you. And so you would initiate the violence, but you're not talking about the extent of the violence that you did. They were toxic together. She was over there doing stuff she knew would make him jealous. She going out with people that she know that he know in order to try to show up, knowing that he gonna find out. She living in his houses, had multiple different places and apartments of her own. You in the whole toxic situation, I'm just not going for it, fam.
We go explain, because no evidence.
This guy go explain tired. If you're a man and you buy into everything he just said, you go explain tired.
These nuts. Got him! Got him!
You go explain tired. Marriott, welcome. How are you doing? You go explain tired. It does not look like he will make sense to me. D. Oh, you didn't know Anton before? It's a big YouTuber. A lot of people believe in him more. I'm a fan. I'm not a fan of about 99% of what he has to say. So why are you following? So I can know all the stuff to debunk. It's always money with these uncles. They love to live vicariously through high value men. Yeah, it's the money. Unfortunately, the money can only go so far. If the money take you so far, eventually you're gonna end up in jail and you're gonna have to explain with no evidence.
We go explain because no evidence.
Truth teller, yes sir. Am I 4 hours in? Yes. Today now. I told you I'm hanging out. I don't care if it's 2 of us here today with a hangout. Welcome, Marriott. Anyway, he's still talking. Anton is still talking.
Y'all, yes, they both doing drugs. They both doing freak offs. They both out here in the streets. Oh, because you now getting depressed because you woke up and they was peeing in your mouth, which is something that she testified by. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't imagine being a husband and they're like, oh yeah, baby, I really do love you. I support you. I'm never gonna get the vision of you getting peed in your mouth out of my mind, and you just really just rocking out.
Jesus. Damn. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. That's a lot. The thing is that if she's participating in such behavior, I already said that at the very beginning of the show, that girl came from something is wrong with her background. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's bad parenting. I don't know if it's a bad lack of fatherhood, because I haven't heard of a father somewhere. Because somebody do that to my daughter, I'll be damned. I honestly don't know what I would do. Okay. But knowing the little bit I know about my daughter right now, I doubt she will ever end up in this kind of craziness. Just, again, I'm not saying absolute. I'm just saying I doubt it. It's just highly unlikely. And there's a lot you can tell about a child's personality from the very beginning. But it's much more deeper than pee in the mouth. Okay. To make this issue about peeing in the mouth, damn, it's much more deeper than pee in the mouth. Okay. By the way, some of the greats that you worship, they've peed in their mouth or they've peed in other people's mouth. So they've done the nastiest. Some of them could be your parents. They've done nasty things that you don't want to see. So what people do in their sexual world is what they do. But clearly that wasn't just their sexual world. It was quite public and nasty. We can just call it nasty and keep it moving. But to make it something you're about to use to exonerate Diddy, nah, bro, it ain't gonna happen.
Sorry, yo.
You're not about to use the fact that they pee in her mouth to suddenly make Diddy a little bit less guilty. We didn't even call him guilty yet. It's not guilty yet. Calm down. It's not guilty yet. It's presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. Calm down. Drink water. Don't be what's his name? Don't be an Akpabio and his cohorts. Calm down. There's a hearing going on. All right. Yes, she did bring up the pee in her mouth thing, but it was part of, they're trying to paint a picture of what the world they lived together. She admitted to it, but no, she did not commit a crime as far as the Fed is concerned right now, because she did not run an enterprise. Maybe she could have been, remember that CNN video I played earlier? She could have been a co-conspirator, but they haven't charged any co-conspirator. What they're saying is that this guy, all by himself, with the humongous power that he had, he was running an enterprise, a criminal enterprise. But we're here for it. Let me see. That's interesting. Marriott says internet men are crazy. Did you see the statement from her husband? I am happy for her. She got a man like that. That boy has a lot more to deal with. You can be happy for her or for him all you want, or not happy for her. That's fine. Happy for her is perfectly fine. But that boy, are you happy for him? That's another conversation. Now, he's carrying a lot of weight, I'll tell you that much. Okay? Kudos to him. But he's carrying a lot more weight than an average man will be willing to carry. I'll tell you right now for free. When I say average man, I'm not talking about just emotional intelligence. I'm just talking average man, period. To be able to carry that kind of weight and have to deal with that kind of woman, it's got to be a lot, So I pray more grease to his elbows. I pray for wisdom to help him carry it, and strength. He's going to need it. Her parents are still married. She started this mess at 19. Women are very impressionable when they are preyed upon. Okay, yes. When they are preyed upon. That's the part that Anton is arguing against. Anton is saying no. She preyed upon him. Because now he's saying that she initiated violence sometimes, Maybe she got too comfortable. Maybe she thought she could get away with it until they gave her a backhand slap and she was like, Anton should take several seats, please. This mindset irks me. This one does pass anger. We did on a date with you, MOP. Yes, D. Yes. I'm happy here for it. I'm happy for it. I know what my 19-year-old friend was getting up to with her 32-year-old boyfriend at the time. I couldn't wrap my head around it. You see, when you say women are impressionable, I really receive that. That's not to say women are dumb. When men hear that, sometimes they interpret that to mean women are dumb, and they try to treat them accordingly. Impressionable is neither negative nor positive. It can be weaponized against a group of people. Obviously, that's why we will say women are vulnerable, right? That's the way I see it. It doesn't mean women are weak. It doesn't mean you get to commit these grave offenses against women, because you know the funny thing about them, it comes back and bite you in the butt. And because of the same argument you're about to make as an Anton, you're going to be called out for it, and you're going to go end up in jail all by yourself. So you don't have the luxury of, oh, she did it too, she also did it. You don't have that luxury when you are the man in the equation. So it's completely a bad idea to appease men. It will backfire. It will work against them. We have our own vulnerabilities too. One of them is the kwekus. So what we're telling you, watch yourself. Stop leaving the autonomy of the direction of your life in the hands of the women you deal with. You have a bunch of women in a setting where they're doing freak offs and they are consenting to it. You are in an exposed environment. It's not a controlled environment. Anything can happen as far as 30 years later. And then you come back here and then you do chalaye and say, Allah is always blaming men.
You go explain, because no evidence.
Remember, women are impressionable. So you follow them into your grave if you don't use your own senses as a man. Yeah, she was consenting to it. She had moments she was consenting to it, but at some point she said no. So I wasn't sure. That moment when she said no, that was it. By the way, it might be too late. If you have enough of those, if you find yourself in a situation where you've done it with too many women, you're exposed. It's too risky. Now you become an easy target for a prosecutor to put you away for the rest of your life. God help you not have that kind of money or that kind of power. You're a Diddy. It's over. You're somebody's career. You're still busy facing Cassie. No, your enemy is the prosecutor. If you want to face anybody, you better be fighting that prosecutor. You better make sure your defense is strong. Fighting Cassie is too late. That $30 million is never going to fix the trauma that she has to face. Oh, she wasn't a victim because she collected $30 million. No, the $30 million proved that she was a victim. That's what's the proof. But it's not really the truth. But you know how these things work. It's a settlement. Yeah, I know. It's still what it was. But Anton is still talking. I'm sure he's still going to say something interesting.
It's crazy. This is crazy to me.
I want to walk you through just some of the instances that Cassie brought up when she testified today. One time she said that she and her girlfriends, they went to Prince's party. Yes, the musician Prince. Diddy was there. He didn't know she was going to be there. He got angry and she said, quote, "He beat me up." She said that after they broke up, they went to Prince's party. Yes, the musician Prince. Diddy was there. He didn't know she was going to be there. He got angry and she said, quote, "He beat me up." She said that.
So she went to a Prince party, didn't know Diddy was going to be, and then you beat her up. Guess what? You don't have the right to put your hands on anybody. Well, but she beat her up too. Well, I know. You could explain to her. You have evidence? Was she the aggressor? You have evidence? And well, now, with respect to the actual case that's going on, the case that's going on right now, see, when it gets down to it, the hurt is a feminine thing. Okay? You know how women, part of their feminine attributes, when they have an issue with you, they're not going to stay focused on that one issue. Remember that explanation? Who shared that video here once upon a time? And then I shared the video with how men have their issues in one box or separate boxes. Their favorite box is the empty one. But women have issues in every box, and all the boxes are connected. So if there's one issue and they bring up that one issue inside that box and you think it's over, no, they're going to bring up all the other issues that remotely sound close to what we're dealing with. Even if they justify the connection, even if it's not really connected, they will justify a connection between the two issues. That's just what it is. Okay, it's part of the attributes that we love the most, when we make everything beautiful because of one moment of good feeling, right? It's the same thing. It's neither good nor bad. It's, do you know what to do with it? That's what it comes down to, right? So the same thing with the earth, right? Or the very experience of humanity, right? It's messy. That's why we try to put structure in it, right? It's very messy. If you have one issue that comes up, like for example, the feds file a case against you, and now, Ola, you said the case was closed. Why are they bringing it up? Because it's messy. Remember, there's an enemy against you now. It's called the federal prosecutor, right? And the goal here, it's not personal, not to them, to you it is. The goal is to bring you down. The goal is to make you a scapegoat. No, it's not. It's not. You don't have to be a scapegoat. As long as they can put it on their resume that they are the one that put Diddy away for life. That's what it comes down to. Guess what they're going to have to do to make this? Sometimes they will make it muddy first. They will create a bunch of mess. And then they will get to work and try to separate it. And then the goal is to justify a path to putting you away for life. Sometimes they have to bring everything together first in order to make that happen. So you might say, what does that have to do with anything? Well, they're bringing everything. They're bringing Cassie into it to make one single point. Forceful behavior, cohesion. They're still going to bring the bribe into it. Already, the security guy already testified that he waved a bundle in front of him, trying to bribe him. We already know that some tapes at a hotel disappeared. Suddenly, the hotel settled. They gave Cassie $10 million, right? So there's a lot of bringing all the mess into it and then separate is all part of the game. This is why I tell you, as a person of means, man or woman, if you have anything valuable, worthwhile that you need to protect, for example, your body, for example, your relationship life, make sure that you're doing things within a controlled environment. When you're exposed, the more people you're exposed to it, the more messier it gets. You're dealing with all these different, they call it spirits. Some people call it, some people will now bring into this conversation, what do you call it? Soul ties. You're dealing with all these different things, right? It just gets messy and messy. It's just that much harder. It's math. It's not that deep. It's not that spiritual either. It's all spiritual, by the way. It gets very muddy, very messy. It gets more difficult for you to be in control of your life, to keep things under control. So imagine if you get hit with a messy situation, it gets that much harder to bring things back up together. And by the way, any one case can completely destroy you. So if you're a person of means, you have things to protect. You have an empire, a household, a family to protect. These are things you need to understand. You need to keep your household in order. In order to keep your house in order, hopefully you haven't created too many mess all over the place. Because if you have, it gets more muddier, it gets more messy. I'm speaking from experience. My experience obviously is not women or having children all over the place. But I'm speaking from experience. I've had other aspects of my life where I just made too much mess all over the place. The same principle applies. So it gets harder and harder to bring things. Sometimes you have to shut everything down. That's when you shut it all. Some people will call it you go to solitude. Some people will call it you just shut everything down so that you can start from the beginning. You have to build from scratch again. You have to set up a new foundation. When it comes to marriage, we preach the same thing. That marriage, that one you had that was messy, is over. You might end up in a new marriage with a new person or with the same person, but it's still a new marriage. If it's not a new marriage, you're probably going to replicate the same problems that was there before. Right? And that's why you see people go in circles. They go in circles. They don't know that they have to go back and set up a new foundation. They're literally trying to build on the bad foundation. Right? They might go to a family meeting. They say, okay, this marrying here is finished. It's not finished. But I thought it was finished. Yeah, another human being was involved. They lied to you. They were trying to make it finish. They just couldn't. It gets muddy. I digress.
That after they broke up in 2018, that he raped her in her living room at her home. She also said that it wasn't just her, that one time he held one of her friends over the balcony on the second.
We already talked about that. I just want to get Anton's commentary. We already talked about that. Let's see here.
Lost that friendship. So came up
about November 2023. That's what started this domino effect of the civil allegations
That's
against Sean Combs. Now, in her lawsuit, she alleged this, incident. He got
of what we heard today with the
And he's being charged with lawful activity. There's plenty of unlawful activity, but that's not the things that he's being charged for. He's not being charged for domestic violence. He's not being charged for
wait, let's go back.
Testimony. Only one thing that somebody in the chat says, Clips 914 says, 80, there's only one thing that matters here, brother. And that is if any of the testimony or evidence produced proves that there was any unlawful activity. Let's not forget the point of the trial. No, that's not what it's for.
No, actually, that person is right. The last phrase that person said is what matters. Do not forget the point of the trial. You're making it about Cassie. You're falling for the same thing that the defense cannot afford to fall for. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're falling for the same thing that the defense, Anton is falling for the same thing that the defense cannot afford to fall for. You sit down there and end up defending a case that has been closed, which is Cassie's case. As opposed to say, find ways to mitigate the fact that this guy is a violent guy who, if he's not in control, will do anything to get his way. That's the point they're trying to prove here. It's not about Cassie. It's not about Cassie. Black Diamond said, what's with all these golden showers and mouths? Don't you people have toilets in the America? Are you not in America? Stop it. Okay. She wasn't the best witness, but her testimony laid the groundwork for the violence he was capable of. That's all. You know, bringing her up first, I would hope that they have something better than Cassie. To your point, right? I would hope so. Because if this is the best they can come up with, then it's not looking good. All right, so I can expect that they're still going to throw some kind of curveball in the mix. But already people like Anton are falling for it. They're getting emotional about the ideal of a Cassie, a woman who will come into your life, take your resources, and then put you at harm's way. And now she's claiming that case is closed. Focus. Why? Ask yourself, why did I bring this case into this? And tackle that point and don't tackle Cassie, because if you tackle Cassie, you will be proving to them that you are violent, that you are supporting. You're basically proving to them that this guy is violent. That's what you'll be proving. You'll be working against yourself. No husband will be happy. No husband will be happy in such situation. Their marriage is on a shaky ground. It's crazy with all the attention going on right now. I just hope he has the strength. They've been dealing for 6 years now. They must be going through it, but I wish them the best. Yes, Marriott, because in that they probably have the best part of their relationship in the past for now. Hopefully they will create some new experiences and then start to enjoy again. But this moment right here is going to be shaky because they're humans and he's human, right? And he wasn't there when she was being peed in the mouth. That's going to be rough. Because people like Anton are going to keep painting that picture. And if he's a kind of guy that's kind of curious and is all over the place, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. Please don't even know what the charges are. People don't even know what the charges are. He's trying to shut it down. Like somebody's trying to bring it up, like pay attention to the trial. And he's like, no. But let me hear what's about to say though. So ignorant. The statute of limitation has passed for DV. Oh, that's another angle. And the case is not DV. Okay. Same thing, MOP. And I've been pointing out. God help us. You're in Germany, I forgot. Yes, you are in Germany. I remember you said that before. We don't do golden showers. Black Diamonds. Please. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Not having it. I'm not gonna have you. All right, let's keep going here. Let's hear what he has to say.
It's not to prove if it was any unlawful activity. There's plenty of unlawful activity, but that's not the things that he's being charged for. He's not being charged for domestic violence. He's not being charged for being jealous. He's not being charged for drugs. He's not being charged for any of this stuff. He's
Tell
being
us.
charged for racketeering. Okay? And he's also being charged for trafficking.
Okay.
Meaning that he's bringing people across state lines against their will in order to bust them down. Those are the things that he's being tried for. Those are the things that they're trying to convict him of. Let's remember exactly what it is. It's not about any unlawful activity. It's about whether or not he's actually doing things against the law that would substantiate whether or not he deserves the charges that's being levied against him on a federal level. Right? That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. So if you're telling me that her getting peed in the mouth or whatever, as nasty as it is, that they got a whole bunch of baby oil, that she made some phone calls and they got some people in there and they busting it down for real and they having freak offs and all of this stuff. I don't see it.
All right. So if you remember when I was reading from LA Times, they actually spelled out some of the signs, some of the things was it LA Times or the AP Associated Press? They actually spelled out some of the things that they would look for in this kind of case. And D and Marriott maybe can help me a little bit more. Obviously, they're looking for a legal entity and enterprise, but enterprise for what? Not just enterprise, right? They're looking for enterprise that's running criminal activities, right? There are many criminal activities out there: stealing, thieving, whatever. What else can be criminal activities? Well, I mean, if you're basically holding, I mentioned it earlier, like a couple of hours ago, holding people against their will, or sometimes they call it kidnapping, obstruction. We talked about that, right? They might look for financial crimes. Clearly, they're not going to make financial crimes the highlight of this. Obviously not. But people are testifying that they threatened to blow up somebody's car, right? Somebody that we saw a whole motion picture of him being violent to his girlfriend in the most horrific way you can think of on video, right? So you're talking any signs of violent crimes. So why won't Cassie be a witness if she agrees to it? Why won't? Now, they might bring up copyright and stuff like that, by the way. They might bring up all this type of stuff with masters and rights, because recently he just managed to give some of the rights of the masters away to the likes of Mace and some of his, I think 112. 112 was also the handiwork of Diddy. You know, they might bring up stuff like that. They might go bring up evidence of proof of financial crime in his organization and enterprise. But clearly was mixing money with pleasure. They were using a lot of that money to fly in people for prostitution behavior. She's a testimony for flying in sex workers who paid. What was she saying? Get me my money back from the husband. Now the husband, right? Because he paid. He's claiming that he paid for everything. Remember that she took his resources. Remember that same point that's going to be used against him, because now they will have evidence. Now you are shalaing right now, you don't have any evidence, but they will have actual evidence. I'm telling you. So it's saying a lot, but this is the mindset of a lot of people out there right now. People like Anton are using the case to fight proxy gender war. That's exactly what is going on. Say less. It was this year I found out American men are into feet and pee. We're not weird. Stop it. You're in Canada and that's America. Stop it, Marriott. The fear of being used for your non-existent resources. That's it. That's it right there. One of your many resources is your emotional intelligence. If you lack one, you're definitely going to be used. Yes. There's going to be a blind spot. A girl is going to come into your life. That is a woman that they will use. Woman. Remember Delilah? It's a woman that the devil will use. Last. Remember Shannon Sharp? Remember that young 19-year-old girl? How old is she now? She's still 21, right? That case is still going on, right? That one is dead now because they're talking about Diddy. But Thank God it's not criminal. That one is not criminal. He can, but his reputation is gone for now. But yeah. So, in my opinion, that's probably the greatest resource you can have: emotional intelligence, critical thinking, right? So, if you lack it, then even if you have money, because Diddy is an example, even if you have money, if you lack emotional intelligence, somebody is coming for it. Because at some point, your emotional self-control is going to crumble. At some point. All right, man, social media lawyer Anton, what are the mental and physical elements required to prove the offenses you've referenced? That's the question, right? That is the question that needs to be answered by bringing a Cassie into the case. But he's getting lost in the whole thing. He's making it about Cassie. Which is, by the way, if they can manage to make the jury fall for it the same way that Anton is falling for it, if they can manage to make that happen, it's going to be bad for him. They're going to send him away for life. They're going to send him away for life. So this is a very twisted case, and you have to pick things apart carefully. Obviously, that's why it's a big case. Because even me, I'm getting confused right now already. Okay. All right, so let's get back to it. Let me go back. This is a very good video.
Do he got a demon? Do he got a sex demon on him? A king demon?
But does he have a demon? Not do he. Does he have a demon? Do he have a demon? Stop.
100%.
So
Do he got?
say ekbele, and you know you English correct us. I know. We speak better English. It's just the truth. Now that's the truth. That's a fact. Okay. Nigerians speak better English than Americans. Come on, stop. Like, can we like, it's okay. Drink water. That cannot be offensive. Nigerians speak better English than Americans.
Stop the cap.
Do he got a demon? I'm done. Let me continue.
A demon? Do he got a sex demon on him? A king demon? 100%.
Do he got a demon? Can your demon send you to life imprisonment? Yes, 100% true. Remember, 2 or 3 or 4, 5 things can be true at the same time. Do she got a demon, Cassie? 100% they were peeing in her mouth. Is that the case on ground? No. No, bro, that's not the case. That case was closed. In fact, she collected $30 million. Your resources, because they peed in her mouth. I'm sorry. I know that's what you're pissed off about, but let's continue.
I don't think that anybody is debating that. I don't believe that anything that they're saying actually justifies the charges that is being levied against them. I just don't.
We'll see.
I just don't. I
We'll
don't.
see.
I could disagree with it. I could think it's immoral. I could never do it myself.
Really, bro? I hope not. But I don't know, right? Just like we don't know. We're just going to see, right? We don't know what we don't know now.
But do I think that this substantiates racketeering or something like that? I don't see it. I just don't see it, bro.
If you run a bad boy enterprise for 30 years, unless there's no real interest in putting you away for life, there's more than enough evidence to put you away for life. First of all, nobody's business books is clean like that. Nobody. Okay? Nobody. The best of them, they've had to go to jail for 6 months. Remember Wesley Snipes? Had to go to jail for 6 months just because they forgot to pay a bill, a tax bill. The accountant they pay, the feds say, oh, well, sorry, not the feds, the IRS. They said, well, sorry, you're going to jail. Go to jail for 3 months, 6 months. Right? Do he got a demon that make him now they pay the bill? That's not how it works. You're exposed. When you make some certain amount of money or you become very powerful, one of the works you have to do is figure out what are the threats. As much as you're figuring out you're a hustler, I get what I want. You have to pay attention to what are the threats, potential threats against my enterprise. Do you got a demon? Sometimes you are your own worst demon. Sometimes it's just you. Sometimes it's a real demon, like the type from Uncle Benno's village. None of those demons exist. We are our own worst demon, and you'll be responsible and you'll be accountable. So if God has blessed you, to whom much is given, the scripture talks about, to whom much is given, much is required. And it's not about perfection, it's just to be aware. Okay, you're not going to be able to beat all of them, but if you're that reckless and you're peeing in people's mouth when there's a bunch of people watching and there's videos and you're blackmailing people with such videos, the day the person get enough courage to say, you know what, I don't care about life anymore, that's the day you're done. Because now the one thing you're holding against them, which is life, dignity, if you take it away from them, at some point, one thing is going to beat the other. They're going to be like, that's it, I'm done. And then you come onto the internet, you be doing shalaye, talking about you don't think it's justified. We don't know. What we don't know is what we don't know.
We go explain, because no evidence.
We know what justifies what when they're done with the case. He said he believes that he can get away with this. All right, let's see. May the best player win. Yeah, this is a game. Yes, this is Feds versus Diddy, PD, Love, Sean Combs. Not Cassie, because Cassie already won. Well, in terms of civil lawsuit, she already won. I wish her the best, just like Diddy wished her the best, right? Let's continue.
So no, I disagree with you 100%.
Testimony.
It's
into-
emotional. It's a lot of crying, and I don't.
Feelings. Let's talk about the feelings. Let's stop bringing the feelings. Let's not bring in the
We go
feelings.
explain, because no evidence.
These people swear up and down. They're more logical than the feds. They're more logical. It's emotional. It's a lot of crying. What do you think the feds is going to use against you? The facts. What do you mean facts? The crying, the emotions.
He shock you.
You never see anything yet. You never see anything yet.
I don't even believe what she's saying. I don't believe 100% what she's saying.
Correct, of course. The prosecution wanted
You don't believe what she's saying. Interesting.
to get out why she was.
Do we have to believe? That's not relevant. We saw a video. What else do you need to believe? What do you need to believe? He literally admitted to being peed in on the mouth. What do you need to believe? What do you need? What else do you need? You need to believe? Believe what? What she say? What did she say?
Choosing to testify. And I tell you, people were leaning in at that moment to see what she would say. Why?
This was
I want to
really
hear
great
Anton.
and very
Anton. I
well
want to hear
done.
Anton.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you.
Return the money.
Return the money.
Wrong, and I'm here.
Does that sound like Daddy Freeze for a second there? Daddy Freeze said, you don't collect money, which is a very bad offense, but you don't collect money. The money and the offense, one is a means to the other in terms of the case. But in reality, when it comes to the traumatic experience of both of them, by the way, there's no amount of money. That's the whole point of this. There's no amount of money that's going to buy you dignity. Money can only go so far. Money goes a long way, don't get me wrong, but it can only go so far. If anything, that should be the lesson here. Return the money. This ninja said return the money.
You are a mumu man. You doing what?
All right, let's continue.
To do the right thing. That's
Well, then return the money.
Return the
'Cause you
money.
didn't earn none of that. Return the money.
I tell you, will earn every penny of that. The attorneys. The 10% the attorney is going to collect. It's absolutely earned it. You're a target, not particularly of the girl. Stupid. You're not a target of necessarily the girl. There are forces of evil against you. The higher you go in this society, the more powerful you become. The more arrogant, especially, the more prideful you become. You become your own enemy more and more and more. You become a target of not just one entity, one person. There are attorneys cooking stuff again. If you don't keep your house in order, not just attorneys, by the way, because somebody's going to be like, why you always talk about, like, it's not about the attorneys. It's about the forces of evil against you. If you're a nobody, you live in a cave, you don't have to worry about anything. If you're a somebody, there are threats, so, and you have to pay attention to them.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it. All right.
Because I didn't see no criminal case. That was created by the feds. That was created on the federal level. That had nothing to do with you whatsoever. You filed a civil suit, then return the money, then do the right thing and go and get a job and take care of business and stop feeling like you entitled to money that you didn't earn. Return the money. You know, miss me with this holier than thou.
It ain't gonna happen. This literally, that's exactly what I'm preaching against, Anton. You're not holy. Stop it. You're not a good guy. Okay, you are a good man. No, sorry. You're a good man. Let's take that back. You're a good man. Get off the high horse. You're not as holy as, okay, you are very holy. It's irrelevant to how this world works. It's absolutely irrelevant to what we're dealing with. You should be a good person. That's the bare minimum. You owe yourself that. You should be a good person. But your expectations must be managed. Because what do you mean by good? What do you mean exactly? Can you be a good person so badly that you start to have enemies because you're a good person? Think about it that way. Is that possible that somebody just look at you? This one always think is fat doesn't stink. This one thinks, who does he think he is? Can you start creating enemy just because you seem to be a good person? So imagine there's a guy that's always been imagine on TikTok. Imagine if you are reckless, right? It's not relevant. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Get off this holier than that. We're trying to tell you that you're not holy. And stop it. We're trying to tell you that there's a game being played here. You just call it the feds. The feds, the prosecutors, they're just trying to go. Guess what they are? The enemy. They come to do what? To destroy, devour everything in their path. Guess what they're going to use? People in your closest circle, yes. Even if they don't intend to destroy you, they can still be used by the enemy. The lesson is deeper than, return the money. What money? Money that can be made back. You can lose money. You can raise money. You can raise money like this. You can put money in crypto like this. It can disappear. Because the society is angry at crypto. They feel bearish. And the money is gone. And if you're productive enough, you gain the money back. You can replenish money. You can recreate it. It comes and goes. Right? Money. That's just a symbol to say, okay, this person won. They got compensated. It's literally called compensated for the damages, and you're calling it they didn't earn it. See, some people really do think it's their hard work only that determines what we call earning some type of money. It's so far from reality. It's so far. There's a lot more things that goes into earning money. Sometimes just because you're good at the game. Sometimes because you end up on the right side of history. You made a good bet. And then it worked in your favor. Sometimes. Can she repeat that? Probably not. She's not going to get another $30 million. So this kind of money is a windfall money. How long is the money going to last? But why does it really matter? It has nothing to do with nothing. It's just a way to say, okay, that's how they measure for civil lawsuits. There's damages, you pay up. It's actually the judgment. Right? So you pay up. Because you created damages and then they won. If you have a good defense, go and fight it. If you don't have a good defense, it happened. People do settle sometimes. Why? Because you have a lot more to lose. Is that fair? Yes, it is still fair. In the real sense of fair. If you say it is not fair, I understand you. I know where you're coming from. But in the grand scheme of things, is that fair? Yes, it is. Because you live in a society where you've agreed that these are the laws. And may the best player win. So he's trying to tell us that all this holier than thou, you guys think you're holy. No, actually we think we're sinners. You think you're holy and you think you deserve more because you're holy. And I'm telling you, no, you don't. That's all I'm saying here. Let's listen to this holier than thou thing here. Let's listen to it.
You know, miss me with this holier than thou, she's a victim, self-righteousness. I am not going for it. I look at her as 1B. Diddy is 1A and she's 1B.
Nah, bro, nah. That's a loser mindset. Absolutely, that's it. There's got to be a winner. There's going to be a winner. No, you miss me with the holier than thou stuff that everybody's got to win and everybody's got it. Both of them lost. No, there's a case going on. Somebody's going to be a winner. No, sorry, there was a case. Somebody's going to be a winner and somebody's going to be a loser. Diddy lost. He lost $20 million. Now, those are facts. Get over your feelings, right? So you miss us with all the holier than thou. Oh, okay. Somebody has to be a victim. So if it's not Cassie, then it's got to be Diddy. Are you trying to say that Diddy is a victim? Who is the victim? Okay, never mind your feelings for a second. Let's get over our feelings, remember? Let's get over our feelings. The Superior Court in New York City, the civil lawsuit, who is the victim? Who was the perpetrator? Who was justified? There's an agreement. Well, nobody lost. No, he didn't lose, but he lost because that lawsuit created a cascade of calamities that he has to face now today. Okay, because I think that case was the trigger for a lot of things, but they had been watching him for a long time. Don't get that twisted. Don't get it twisted. They had been watching him for a long time. Just know this and know peace. Alright. This man is dumber than I initially thought. Oh, it's a smart, intelligent YouTube guy. I can learn a lot about YouTube from Anton. I'm terrible at YouTube. Cassie earned it. She's supposed to get more than that for all he put her through. You are a good person? Okay. Have a chocolate chip cookie on me then. Wala. Olurebi, welcome. It says, MOP, do you think Diddy will go down alone without mentioning others? He can go down alone because he runs an enterprise called Bad Boy Enterprise and he was the commander-in-chief of it. He can go down alone. If it's never happened before, he can be the first. There's a first for everything. A lot of people are saying, well, when you say something is racketeering, it has to be many other people. There's a first for everything. Anything is possible. If they were going to name anybody in this case, I think they would have named them by now. And I think if they name anybody else, it will be because it's significantly important that they name that person. But I think he's just going to go down. They might also be looking at it from a holistic standpoint that if this guy goes down, a lot of these people, their livelihood depends on him. They've gone down already by default. By now already, they are feeling the pain already. So they might also look at it that way. And the feds, there's a human being behind it. It's called a prosecutor. That person might just be interested in one person. For all I know, that person might just be an enemy of Diddy from sometimes in the past. I don't know. Diddy was a big guy in New York City. Diddy had the key to the city. So I don't know what kind of enemies. Remember what I was saying here is that I'm not even saying he doesn't have enemy. I'm saying you should expect that the bigger you get in society as a person of means, the more you become a target. The Bible calls it forces of evil, principalities, all that kind of stuff. That's what they're talking about. So you have to pay attention to be aware of that. In business, we might call it threats, right? In society, we might call it threats. What are the threats? You become a target. So you have to build forces against that. Just know this, right? As opposed to living recklessly. It's not enough that you collect young girls' phone for mobile phones at the door. It's just not enough. It's not enough that you sign NDAs. Okay, if prenups can be cracked open and thrown in the garbage, NDAs can probably be thrown in the garbage. Remember what it comes down to when it becomes the feds against one person is protection of people and properties. That's what it comes down to. So if they have to destroy an agreement to make that happen, then so be it. They'll protect it for as long as they need to protect it. In civil cases, they will protect identities and things like that, but only to a certain extent. If it comes down to it, guess what Jay-Z did? They conceal somebody's identity. Like, no, open it. Open it. Why open it? He made a good case. They opened the person's identity. I didn't follow it all the way, but something like that happened. And if you didn't have enough, they won't open it because it's civil, right? So, was Jay-Z innocent? No, it's not about that. That's what I'm trying to tell people like Anton. This is not about your holiness. You're preaching to the choir. We need to be preaching the same thing to you. That this is a vicious, cold world, especially for you men. You cannot afford to follow women. You cannot afford to compare yourself to women in any angle you want to think of it. You cannot be saying, what about them? You can't do that. You're not a woman. Even if you try to become one, it won't count, because Trump might enter office 4 years later and say, cancel it, cancel all that shit. Cancel, there's only 2 genders. You're not a woman. So stop comparing yourself. The only way you can protect yourself against a woman is to be a man. The only way to protect yourself against women is to be a man. Everything else is not going to work. It just gets worse. You get caught up in your feelings, it just gets worse and worse. Then you sounding like Anton on the internet. It's not a good look. Return the money. What money? The money is gone. It's spent. The money is spent already.
1A and 1B. That's what I look at it as. I don't see it any more than that.
That's how her testimony ended today. So a very powerful note. And to your point, you said this just a few moments ago. Now the jury went home. They are sleeping on that final note before cross-examination starts.
Yeah, I'm not going for it again. I'm just not going for it. I'm not going for it. I'm not hitting it. And I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. I know that people not going to like it. They're going to say, Anton, no, you always for men.
Let me guess. Because Anton is always speaking the truth. A truth teller.
No, I am for our legal and our justice system actually getting it right. And they getting it wrong over and over and over and over.
Nah, this is a bad example. Now, Anton, you need to fight for one of those kids that was picked up on the streets and they threw them in jail for the last 30 years. That's what you need to be fighting for. Not Diddy. Not Diddy. I'm going to end with this one. This one right here. We're going to end with this one. Let's see. Yay.